Hi guys, welcome to the channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is Moon, and this is a video about money. It's going to be very quick. I keep trying to make a video about money, but it just like I don't know, like it makes me babble and then it you know what I mean. Anyway, so I'm going to be doing a book plug. Let me start with the books first. Okay, cool. Power of the Subconscious Mind. I would suggest that you get this book. Very powerful book, very important when you're trying to build a healthy relationship with your finances and just like anything in general in your life. This is a very good book. I suggest you get it. I got this book from Take a Lot. Okay, cool. And then there's this book by Donald Walters, Money Magnetism. So these are the two books that I would suggest you get. You know, it gives you kind of like a really healthy relationship with money, or it's just like a start or whatever. The most powerful thing I realized about my relationship with money is that I never had money issues. I never had financial problems and all these things. I just had personal issues that I was projecting onto my finances and onto my money. And that's why I feel like it's very important to get this book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. We have like a lot of subconscious things holding us back, and they project obviously into like our world and stuff like that. If you have scarcity issues, like a scarcity mindset, obviously there's going to project into your finances. If you have, you know, low self-confidence and all these other things that you then work on, they're going to project into your finances. Scarcity mindsets even project into our relationships, okay? So they project into our family, they, like a lot of our issues. So working on your subconscious mind to assess kind of like your triggers and just doing your shadow work and realizing where kind of like your story about things comes from is so helpful, because you stop clinging to the idea of just like the story that you play to yourself that you're never going to have money because you're not enough. You're never going to have a good partner because you're this, blah, blah. And these are the things that we harbor, and they stand in between us and money. And you keep thinking, oh no, the thing is, I can be so much better or so much healthier if I just have more money. I'm going to be so much smarter or so much whatever if I have more money, or I'll have more influence when I have more money. Like we always want to wait and be like, okay, money holds so much power. And it's like, of course, money is powerful because it gets you stuff. I mean, depending on its value, okay? But we have to remember that human beings are the ones that decided the value of money. Because when we started, we used bartering, and then we used, you know, the paper money. And now currencies keep changing. Currencies keep being created. There's Bitcoin, there's NFTs, there's all these things, right? So to show that money is like, it's our idea, and we keep... and it keeps evolving. It keeps evolving. And the people in power obviously are the ones that now decide, well, okay, now we're going to be using electronic money. Now there's NFTs. Now there's all these other things. Okay, cool. But I think a lot of people who are intimidated about the idea of money are the people who are waiting to be perfect. And that takes us back to what I'm saying about people waiting and saying, I will be healthier when I have more money. I will be better when I have more money. I will be this when I have more money. When in truth, you know, you are just projecting the things. You're making money an excuse to hold you back from certain things that you want to do. I realized with my money story that I had discipline issues. So I'd be like, oh, you know, money just comes and then it goes. I never see what I'm doing with it. But I had to kind of like do the shadow work and be like, okay, cool. I'm using money and I'm projecting these issues to my finances because I have a discipline problem, you know? So once I was able to kind of like look at that I had a discipline problem, and I also had an issue with receiving, which I think a lot of people have. A lot of people have an issue with receiving, which is why also women have an issue with like, oh, you know, I always get stingy partners, or I don't feel like I want to, and then you kind of like put yourself in this high pedestal if you're overworked, and you think that, yeah, that's the only way that you can receive things. No, you need to be open to receiving. You need to be a gracious receiver, and you'll receive so much more. And this goes beyond money. That's why I'm saying that we tend to project our own subconscious beliefs on the things, you know, family, relationships, and all these other things. Cool. So that being said, let me see if I can make sense of the things, because I have so many notes about this. I've been wanting to make this video. I want to see if I can make sense on some of the notes that I have written for my money video. But if I don't really get to saying the things that I want to say, it's fine. I'll just keep trying to make like more videos and just like, yeah. You do not attract good things by focusing on the lack of them. Okay. A lot of the time people will focus on the lack of money, like I don't have money, but that does not attract money. Okay, for you to keep saying and reiterating and just like putting it out into the universe that there's a scarcity of money, oh there's no money and blah blah blah, it perpetuates that reality for you. Okay, and I always make this example to like the people close to me when they're like, oh mara imali ayikho sonke asina mali, and I'm like, you can't say that, because the fact that there are people who can buy 2022 model Bentleys and Ferraris and Rolls, it shows that people have money. Okay, so if imali beyingekho, if money, like if there was no money at all of us would be broke. I guess, but not all of us are broke. There's certain people who have the money and there's certain people who don't. We need to think like the people that do have the money. When we think about it and we say that, we use it as an excuse, we look at the economy and we use that as an excuse, and I know it is a real thing. Of course, inflation is real. The petrol price is a very real thing, that it is going up and all these things. But we need to remember that there are people who are not affected by it. And I always ask myself, why not me? Instead of saying, oh, why should I feel like I should have money because a lot of people don't have money? Why should you not feel like you should be part of the people that actually don't give a fuck that the petrol price is high? Okay? Other time, we also want to stay loyal to our story. And your story then is, I'm this type of person, I grew up like this, because you're staying loyal to a self-concept. You pretend like you want abundance or you want to have money, but the thing is, you wake up every day and you put on that mask of, okay, this is, and I'm calling this a mask because I feel like you can change any day. Like for me, I believe that if I want to like reinvent myself tomorrow and become a completely different Balisa, I can. And that's the fun about life. That's the fun about like living kind of in this reality. I feel like we're here to experience ourselves and we can do whatever the fuck we want. Okay, we just don't realize it yet. But also, it's like you're putting on that mask of playing that person continuously and perpetuating this idea that you were born like this, therefore it has to be like this, and you're holding on to that story because you're also holding on, you're staying loyal to your self-concept and you're staying loyal to the idea that other people have about you. Okay, and another thing that I wrote down on my notes is also just the whole thing of like people being religious or spiritual and using that as an excuse and thinking that makes them humble, and you know, money is wrong, or because you don't want a lot from life, you are trying to buy your way into heaven. And this is why this book is important, because this actually gives you comfort in the idea that God wants you to have stuff. Okay, like God wants us to have stuff. Like, why wouldn't God want me to have like a nice car and stuff like that? Like, what is the point? Get the book, read it for yourself. It's very easy to read. Like, it's the easiest. Like, look how big, look at this. Like, it's so, yeah, I think you understand what I'm trying to say. Like, the font is not tiny like this book, where this, you see how tiny this font is. And the thing with this book, I think it's very repetitive, but it's repetitive, I think, on purpose, because when you are rewriting your subconscious mind, repetition is key. Remember that we grow up hearing things from our parents, and seeing things like around our environment, and these are repetitive things, and we think, oh, okay, cool, that's cool, and that's what makes us form our, you know, perception of life and our self-concept, and thinking that, oh yeah, oh okay, cool, so rich people are evil, oh okay, cool, this, you know, wanting more is selfish, or oh okay, somebody has to lose something for me to have it, or these are the things that we keep seeing in our environment, and obviously they're going to form, you know, part of our subconscious programming. So I think it's very good to get this book so you can just like rewrite that shit so you can live your own life, yo, and have an abundant mindset. Like, trust me. Another thing that I always see on social media is how we have this judgment when we see people who have stuff. Obviously, there are people who are comfortable with seeing people who have money and all these things. I would suggest that you go out and put yourself in uncomfortable situations and go and see things. Like, I love going to car shows. I love going to see, I'm going to add a little clip here, where I was at Melrose Arc and I was seeing like these beautiful cars with these Bentleys and I love seeing big numbers. I love seeing big money. I love, like, if I can go to a house viewing for a mansion, like, why the fuck not? I'm gonna go there, even if, like, I know that right now as it is, I don't have the 5 million to buy the house, but I love to be comfortable in comfort. I like to be comfortable in money. I like to see money. I like to see it and see myself in money. So I don't think that, like, yo, imali engaka, or yo, into so, and I don't want to be intimidated by money, because it's just a number. It's just a number. And we have to learn that, sometimes we're loyal to the environments that are holding us back, and we don't want to feel uncomfortable in certain spaces. Make yourself feel uncomfortable in those spaces. Be around people who have money. Be around, see things, like watch houses on YouTube, top billing or whatever. See things, like, get used to seeing money. Get used to seeing the things that money can afford you. Get used to seeing those things and see that as a part of reality. Because if you live in a reality where you're so used to this whole thing of, like, oh, okay, this is how we live and, it's fine, therefore this is comfort. That is another thing that's holding you back. And then you want to pretend that you want money. People are uncomfortable with things, and the minute that you get yourself to be comfortable with certain things, I promise you, like, you'll see, again, abundance mindset. Actually, what I wanted to say is there was a time where I saw a video of this girl. She was talking about how, a while ago, she was talking about how she's a lawyer and and she was basically talking about her reality. And, a lot of people went into her comments. They're like, oh, you're bragging. I'm like, this is the funny thing. This is someone saying that this is my reality. If I sit here and realistically, like, my boyfriend is about to come pick me up, actually. We're going to go somewhere. I'm going to sit poolside, have cocktails. My boyfriend is going to do his things. I usually have his bank card so I can buy whatever I want. And, he basically takes care of me. To another person, this is like, oh, Balisa is bragging and shit. But the thing is, this is my reality. It's not even me bragging and saying, oh, look at me, I live this, nana. And even if it was, you need to be comfortable with hearing things like that. So that, why do we have to put up this thing where we're advertising or we're advertising our struggles to make other people comfortable, or you're uncomfortable with seeing other people live soft and live easy. And it's always like, oh, yeah, if that man dumps you and, you're gonna struggle or whatever. Honey, then what? But at least I lived this life. I would be saying that, like, I've had the experience of living, like, a very easy life and having things, like, that I've always wanted. Like, right now, I live in that reality and I don't want to feel bad, because another thing, we feel bad for having shit. We feel bad for having shit. Like, you're going to feel bad that, oh, and you want to play small and all these things. I'm not going to play small for other people to feel comfortable, because I know people that live even better than me. And I'm not going to look at those people and envy them. And because if I look at those people and envy them, that's already me putting out a frequency to the universe and saying that I don't like that. And how is the universe going to give me a nice life if when I look at something, it makes me feel envious? I'm putting out a negative vibration towards that thing. So obviously the universe is like, oh, okay, you don't want it. Oh, okay, cool. If you're a hater to other people's relationships, but then you're like, oh, I wish I had a man. The universe thinks that you don't want a man, because every time you see somebody's relationship, you feel envious and you feel jealous and you're putting out, like, funny vibrations to that. So that's why. Get used to seeing nice things. Get used to hearing nice things. Be okay with just receiving. Also, going back to the point that I just made about, like, when you see someone who's being taken care of by their partner and you think, oh, if their partner is gone, everything is gone. Mina, let me tell you guys, men are not my source. God is my source. God is my source. God is my endless supply. I make this a mantra in my life. I always say that the Lord is my abundant and endless supply. And I think people have this relationship to God where they feel like, you're earning points when you're suffering or whatever. If all of this belongs to God, and this world is like God's world and he created it, you think that like just asking for 50 million is umqeda? God has everything. This belongs to God. So for me, receiving from anyone or receiving from life, it's God. It's God stretching his hand out to me. And I don't feel like there's anything wrong with it, which is also something that's made me a gracious receiver. If I pray for something and it has to come through somebody else, I'm okay with it, honey. Like, I'm a gracious receiver, okay? And also this idea that, you're using whoever for money or doing this, and I'm going to say this again. Men who have money have no issue with giving you money because it's just another resource, and resources are here to be used, okay? So I hope this video made sense. I think I have a lot of editing out to do because there were parts where I wasn't making sense, but I will make another video about money. I love to talk about money, guys, and I feel like it's so important because a lot of people, especially when we talk about hypergamy as ladies, I know that a lot of ladies watch my videos. Especially when we talk about hypergamy, the main thing that's standing in the way of you and your bag, honey, is just the self-concept and, the limiting beliefs that you're harboring in your mind about like, oh, am I deserving? Am I this? Am I this? You understand? So anyway, tell me what you think in the comments. Please do like the video, share it with your friends, whatever you need to do. And if you are not already subscribed to the video, please do subscribe and press the notification bell. I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.